after the US, India has the second highest number of English speakers. And with our birth rate, I think we're soon going to have the highest number of English speakers.
Yeah, but the US has an immigration rate. So they've already reached, I think, over 300 million.
Okay.
Whereas our census severely undercounts us.
Yeah.
So we may find it difficult to have bragging rights over the actual numbers.
Right.
Because, for example, in the Indian census, I'm not considered an English speaker. Since the census only asked me what's my mother tongue, which is Malayalam, so I'm not listed. They don't, at least the year that I did the census, there was no supplementary question saying what other languages do you know.
So they've underestimated the number.
Seriously underestimated. In fact, I think the official census claim is 2% speak English.
Right.
Which is a massive undercount.
Correct.
So I would say the reality is somewhere between 10 and 20%, with varying degrees of competence and fluency of the Indian population. Now, if you take that number, then you're looking at about 260 million, which is still lower than America.
So, but I think that with our birth rate, we are going to, exceed.
All right, good for you and your faith in our birth rate.
So anyway, because that brings me to the next question, which I want to ask you. With the growing number of English speakers in India and with our growing influence in the world, do you think that passengers on the London Underground wearing cashmere sweaters will ask other passengers to kindly adjust? Will New Yorkers ask their meetings to be preponed? And will tanned Torontonians describe their complexion as wheatish?
Wheatish, oh, that's a good one.
Do you think that these words will find their way into the rest of the world?
No, actually no. I'll tell you what. One of the strengths as well of English is the fact that there are so many regional variants. That, there's a very distinctive Australian English, which even New Zealanders can tell apart from a New Zealander's English, though we probably can't. And there are real distinctions between the English spoken around London and the English spoken around Yorkshire, let alone Scotland or Ireland. And all these variations have what makes it distinctive, and therefore Indian English has every right to be as distinctive as Irish English or American English. And it's curious, for example, that in India, at least for the longest time, I've not heard it much since returning to India, but when I left India, people still spoke in furlongs. How far are you? Oh, it's just a couple of furlongs down the road. But no one in England has used furlong for 100 years. So we had a word in English.
Yeah.
Then there are these Indian words which don't exist in any Indian language and don't exist in any other form of the English language, like brinjal.
Right.
So in the Western world, it's eggplant, right? And in India, there is no Indian language where it's called brinjal. It's called Bengan, it's called Vaidarinya in Malayalam, Begun in Bangla.
Yeah.
But you can't have anyone saying brinjal except in Indian English.
Right.
So where did it come from? I haven't looked it up. But the fact is, it's an Indian English word that only exists in Indian English.